Pisces for the spring of 2017. I'm doing a different layout, different the whole thing's different. So the cards I'm using are the goddesses of Sirens, the gods and the Titans. These are like a masculine feminine deck. I'm choosing to split the personas here. I'm splitting the masculine and the feminine side for each sign. We'll see how that goes. If you like it, let me know. To kind of get a feel whether or not this is going. I'll tell you, the first reading I did for Aquarius went really well, so I'm feeling a good vibe with these cards. Clarifiers, I'm using the Kuan Yin Oracle for the females by Alana Fairchild, and I'm using the Voices of the Trees deck. It's a small deck if you buy it. It's very small, but by Mickey Mueller. I think that's her name. So she did the Voice of her Trees. It's like, I don't know, there's a little amount of cards, but they're very impactful and very, I found them very grounded, so that's why I like to use it. Find males, for the most part, are more grounded than females, so mind you, not always the case. You can't say that. I can't blanket it, but so that is the adjustment I've made for this year, for spring. So hopefully you enjoy it. So we'll take off here. Now I did not assign any particular meaning to any particular card. I'm doing pyramids up and down for the women, pointing up for the men. And this seems to be going good. Really accumulation of the energies coming to a head of what is really going to be for that season, what you tackle. And the same with the feminine. So as I will always be doing in this series, I will be starting with the feminines. So we have the first card that appears is Illumination. So for these Pisces feminines, they are in a state of feeling, I'm thinking, oh, they're feeling illuminated, but they're just getting ready to ignite. I feel like they're just really have done a lot of inner work, are doing still a lot of inner work, really all around. I mean, a lot of these readings are spiritual, heavily spiritual, and that's where I go with it. And the illumination is really, yes, they are feeling the power from inside. It's funny how it directs from Aquarius. It is really just passing through here, even as I was putting the cards down. So the power and the emphasis that the Aquarians are trying to get and gain and come from is really where the Pisces are sitting. So they're sitting in that power, and they are now ready to illuminate over the spring, right? They've got it, they've harboring it inside, so now it's like what to do. So the next card we have is Inspiration. So there we go, we're carrying on from the Aquarian reading, because that's what they want to do, is gain that power, the Aquarians do. So now the Pisces have that power, and they are moving into the Inspiration, and that is the process. The Aquarians are going to be right behind them. These Aquarian females are going to be right behind them in the process. So we got a lot of hitting milestones spiritually. Really, the beginning of the process, pulling that energy and bringing it inside, and then the Pisces are grabbing it. The Aquarians are just starting to feel it, and the Pisces are starting to let it in. And the Inspiration is going to be part of the process that they're in the spring. They're going to be inspiring people. The Aquarians, the end of spring. The beginning of spring, the Pisces are in, and they're inspiring people. So maybe the Aquarians are one of those inspirations that hit that train, and they grab on. So your next card that you have for the feminine Pisces is Justice. Good. So within all of this power, we have justice, which is, you need that to balance, right? Justice is balance, but it's also truth. And with truth, you just cannot go wrong. So justice, having that to keep everything, we got the illumination, the power. I feel like that is almost saying, like the ego, we stuffed it. It will come when it's needed, when it's balanced, but it is in its place for now. And I feel justice is holding that. It's going, okay, just give it time here, because we got some power. These Pisces are feeling, these feminine Pisces are feeling that power. and they're feeling justified in it. And so we got to balance that ego. Now, what comes next is fear. So, as the Aquarians as well had fear, everyone has fear. They got to come from something. Some kind of contrast has to spur them on, right? So this is fear. So they're still dealing with that. You're dealing with that. You're confronting fears. I feel like the Pisces are going to bring on some fears from this power, because they're really kind of sitting in a zone here where this power, they're feeling it, okay? And they're going to go outward with it. And as soon as they go outward with it, it's like it hits people. It's like, yeah, this is authentic. This is good. This is great. But there's fear-ridden truths that come back. There's fears that are going to be illuminated through this, okay? Illumination of a fear and peace. So the challenge may be to keep peace within finding the fear that is, shone on you or illuminated to you. You're going to have this fear come out of this power that you hold. And I don't feel like it's going to be yours intrinsic. I feel like it's going to come from other people to you. It is going to be something that is going to create fear in you from an outside source. So something that will challenge your ability to feel powerful. Okay, that is really what it is. It's something that's going to challenge your ability to feel powerful. And in that, you have to keep your balance justified in your mind and keep peace. And keep peace at the forefront. Because if you do keep that and hold that secure, you'll make progress. Now, the other card that shows its rears its head here is plenty. So, yeah. We could have plenty of fear. That could be one option for these Pisces. But I don't feel... I feel the plenty is really going to come from the peace. I mean, this is the role here. We got justice, balancing things, okay, keeping things in check. We got plenty. So there may be an instance of a lot coming your way, a lot of activity in order to learn spiritual lessons, a lot of people with issues bringing it to the forefront. It's really going to irritate. So there's going to be a plenty of that. And I feel like that's I hit it there. I think that's what it is. There's going to be a lot of issues coming at you. A lot of people scratching that bone there is making you uncomfortable. So you need to understand that it's going to come at you. Because I feel like these Pisces women, the feminine sides, they're wondering, they're asking, what the hell is going on? What do I need to know? I don't see it. I don't know. What do I need to know? What am I missing? Okay, here it comes. The spring, here it comes. The middle of spring, I feel like you're going to go, come on. That's enough already. I'm sick of it. Because it's just going to be so in your face. And maybe things that you don't want to see, don't want to hear, don't want to deal with. And those are the worst parts, because those are the things that we haven't dealt with. We don't want it, so then we put up blocks for it. This is what's going on. These are the blocks that you've had all along. And you kind of, it's not important, I don't have to deal with that. That's the stuff that's going to be coming at you aplenty. It's going to be coming at you in a way that, you're going to be like, come on, this is enough. So, in a sense, it has an ability to create fear. It will be fearful for you to deal with this, because it is that thing that you've put off for so long. It is those issues that you're thinking, I don't have to deal with this. It is those things. So the fear is connected to the plenty coming at you. It's gonna bring you into a sense of fear. But the overall key here is peace. White buffalo woman. Peace, look back. Peel back the layers a bit here. Don't get so congested where you just, you're dealing with everything and you're not seeing anything. So take an emotional step back. I think that's what it is. The emotional is clouding here for the feminines. They're getting into an area where they're realizing, there's stuff coming at me and it's all over the place. It's coming 1, 2, 3 directions at me. An issue may come from one friend, and another in the same day, and you're like, what is going on? That's not right. But it's something you don't want to deal with. That's why it's compounding. Because it's like, this is the last of the barrel. The bottom of the barrel here, we're digging up sludge. Just rinse it out and get rid of it. Rinse it out and get rid of it, and then we don't have to deal with it no more. because these Pisces are very good at sidestepping. Oh yeah, sidestepping to the point where we should have dealt with this stuff a long time ago and we never did. So now we got the bottom of the barrel. We got to clean it out in order to eat from it, because it just ain't gonna taste good if we don't. So we have to go from that. And that's really what it is. And there's an overwhelming feeling of peace here. But, if you look at the card, the Buffalo woman, she's really from a higher sense. That place of removing yourself a little bit from the scene to get your perspective. So, yeah, really carrying on. I mean, it's very closely spiritual evolution here. It's just Aquarius. Then we move to Pisces. I mean, this is the way it goes. And we're going from that power, the inspiration. We want to inspire, but it's not our, it will happen. We will inspire people, but it's not our, it's not what we're coming from. We're coming from a sense of justice. We're coming from a sense of illumination, feeling that power. We got it. We know what we got. Well, maybe not even aware of what we got, but we're feeling it. And then through the plenty of options for illuminating our issues, really is what it's going to be for these Pisces. You're going to have a lot of people irritating you from the outside. Excuse me. It'll bring out your fears, but you deal with those head on. And the Pisces can do that. They tend to get lazy and go, no, I don't want to. But they have the ability to do it. They just don't feel like doing it. So that's the twist here, is you can do it. It's just you're lazy, you don't want to do it. And then you end up with peace. So that's really where it goes. Now the clarification card is the Tao, 38 from the Kuan Yin deck. This card screams, let it be, let it go. Like she's playing this harp, right? And she's just kind of mindless. She's just zenning out, Taoing, that whole sense of everything, letting things be. And that is the core root of what this card is about, is just really to take that time to release, because the effort that you put in could actually be stopping the universal flow. So the effort that you're trying, and you're not really focused in how you're doing it, is really kind of bumbling things up. And I wouldn't say stopping, but I would say hindering, putting things off a little bit. So you're just needing to really surrender to the flow, and also let that energy come through. The universal energy just is. It does not take effort to unfold. It just does effortlessly. So when we put effort upon or make a task out of doing spiritual work, sometimes can force issues that we just need to let unfold. You're looking at this direction and you have this and this on your mind for later, but right now you're dealing. So just surrender to the flow. If that's what comes at you, go in that direction. And no, I got to go this direction because that's what I'm going to do, and that's number one on my list. You got to give it up. You got to give up that control, and that's really what that is too, is giving up control and just letting things flow. And just like the harp plays so beautifully, the music flows so effortlessly. It seems like an effortless task. And when I was looking at this, I was getting a sense, I think the more you try to play a harp to a tune, the less successful you'll be. You just have to let it flow. You just have to be one with the energy and just feel your way through. And that's really what I'm getting a sense here as to what these feminines really have to accomplish here, is to let that flow carry them. Because they're being forceful in certain areas. They're also being slippery like fish and getting out of areas, but they just need to surrender more to that flow and get in the fuel of it, because it really will carry them, and it's so effortless. And that's the thing, is we're thinking there's an effort here that needs to be put in, but the more spiritually evolved you are, the less effort you should have to put in. It should be effortless. It should be more within the flow. The more evolved you are, the easier it is to gain and acquire these things. And that is the Tao, the essence of the Tao. The more we evolve, the less we have to work for it. So just let it come in, because that is the effort. You are putting too much, I wouldn't say too much effort, I would say too much energy, too much. Just relax a little bit, open up to the peace, feel the peace, the whole meditation thing, that might be an issue. Relaxing the mind, yeah, absolutely. You need to take the mind almost right out of it, because that's what they need to come from. So yeah, very good, very funky. Not funky, but in the way, that's my word, funky. But very good process here, and a learning of lessons. And the thing is, like, I'm going to attack these lessons, and the stiffer you are with, the more rigid you are with it, the less that actually comes in and works its way out. So that's really what happens here. Now, moving over to the masculine, see what we got here. Interesting. We go from the Aquarius masculines. We had love in their reading. And the baseline here for these Pisces males, love. So they have Eros in the bottom corner, followed by guidance and also by beauty. Interesting. So I feel like these Pisces might have somebody in their corner that's kind of pushing them in the right direction, though they may not be realized in who or what that is. Meaning, they may not understand the guidance that's given to them the way that they should employ it, if that makes sense. So they're getting guidance from someone that they feel less important than the process of, like, if we're talking about issues, really is. So and I'm getting it's a strong, almost like an older male energy, or it could be female, just strong, grounded guidance for these Pisces males. I feel like love may be the center of what they're trying to gain, or trying to refine, or trying to appropriate, like trying to work with. So they're getting guidance, but they're not understanding the jewel that this person is giving them. They're not understanding the guidance that's given. They're taking it in, but they're not quite utilizing it, because they don't feel it's of importance yet, because it's just maybe these lessons haven't quite been peaked in their mind, brought up. Because the males can be a little more, have a little more adjustment in that way of connecting inside. Yeah, it's not so important. They're more, usually males are more goal-oriented with jobs, stuff like that. So there's somebody there that's guiding them, but the Pisces male is just not really aware that there's a worth here to what this person is saying. And so, beauty. I think they may be also, these men, these Pisces men might be thinking more about how their physical appearance affects how they feel from the interior. I think they're maybe, they maybe have been feeling slobbly lately, slobberish, like just not really pumping themselves out. And they're middle-aged here, I'm talking, and where they're kind of like, yeah, I go to work, come home, and I don't really take pride in my presence. So I feel a sense of wanting to do that, and wanting to beautify themselves, really, in a masculine sense. Get better care. If they've had a beard, maybe cutting it and looking more, together, more accomplished, more like they came from the office, not the work field, right? The field, literally, with boots and rugged stuff, and maybe, peacocking a little bit, going out and showing it off for the singles, the love. So there's a feeling of maybe, kind of, I'm seeing a peacock, and it's like they're showing showing off for the females, right? They're feeling like they got to do a little more to attract the females. So getting a sense of that from the masculines. As we come into the middle rung here, inventiveness and flow. So they are going to be, the inventiveness. So and I feel like this has really got a lot to do with love. These men are really feeling sprung. I don't know if it's from Valentine's Day. Maybe it's a little hangover from that going into the spring here. but they're feeling like, I gotta change my game up here. I gotta, I gotta look at things differently. I gotta inspire a woman. I gotta be more, I gotta get more in the game. And I do feel for these male, it's really partner oriented. Like I said, if you're gay male, then or to get someone to partner with that you're attracted to, and you're gonna work your magic in that way. As you go on, you have flow. So I'm feeling like that's a warning. Stay in the flow here. Don't get over exploded, and that could go in an ego sense of the way. And then we end up with wisdom. So there is a grounding effect here and an underlying truth of, how do I say that? There's an underlying truth to the personalities that these males want to come from. So they're really prepping themselves, and they're going, yeah, I gotta up my game to get something coming in here, because just haven't had any action for the singles, right? Or maybe for the coupled ones, they want to just, I've not been taking ability to dress up. I've not been taking the time to pay attention to my looks. So, and my partner's kind of not feeling it. So maybe I need to do that. I need to fluff my feathers and show it off a little bit. So I'm feeling that's what these men are going through, which is interesting, because usually that's so whatever, masculine inventiveness. So he's becoming more inventive on ways that he's going to stand out amongst the crowd. I'm getting a lot from the single Pisces male, a lot from these guys. They're like, okay, I got to do something different. All these guys are doing this, they're not getting anywhere. I got to do something different. First, I got to clean myself up. Then I got to, I got to do something. And they're trying to think what that is. And they're trying to stay within the flow of things. They're not trying to be too obvious, too out there. Because Pisces males, I don't think they're really attention getters. I think they like to kind of feel in the background a little bit, and they don't really want to stand out too much. But to a woman, they do. But, in the crowd, amongst the crowd, they don't. So there's some wisdom that is carrying them forth. And also, right across from the guidance. So there's good guidance coming at you. I think you're not recognizing it. So you kind of have to maybe reload your scanners for where, where's the information. I think maybe you just don't know what that good information is, so you just kind of disregard a lot of it. But there is some wisdom that these Pisces are carrying with them, so they need to go from that inside. So yeah, we have love, inventiveness, and wisdom. So they're going to have a wise turn of attitude, or they're going to gain those skills, whatever it is, and it's going to come off in a good way. And then we have beauty, flow, and wisdom. So it's in a good way, I think you're going to take charge of your own beauty and go outward with that, with these males. We're talking males here, female reading, but it's in a very good way, because we end with wisdom. So you're not going to leave your brain at the door. I mean, you're not going to be someone you're not, but you're definitely going to be very inventive in the ways that you go out and grab these grab these people's attention. You're going to go out there and you're going to do it in a very unique way. And I feel like you're gonna get results. And that's where the wisdom, using your head instead of your, even, not brawn, but using your head in a way that and a lot of it is coming from the interior. Love, right? That's the heart. So you can't go wrong. And that's in the corner here, and it comes up with the wisdom. It ends up with wisdom. So, and you can't go wrong with love. So love and being inventive and coming out from a different perspective and staying in the flow. So it's very balanced, but I'm feeling that these males are just wanting to mate, and they're realizing, yeah, I got up my game a little bit. I haven't been, either they've been too focused on work or too out there doing stuff. They realize they need to do that. Now the clarification card from the Voices of the Trees is Un, passion and strength. So this card is really about fighting, but yet not in a physical kind of way. It's more fighting from compassion and warmth and heart. And when you do that, right, you win. So having a good base, a good ground of where they're coming from, these Pisces are really not at all off base. They're really refining, defining who they are in that kind of a way. It's like they're going to finally look at themselves, these males, and they're going to go, yeah, this is what I would want, so I'm going to apply that, and we'll go out and see what happens. Because they really haven't looked at themselves for a long time. These males have really been outward. I mean, Pisces males to a higher degree are very caregiver, in effect. But males as well, they have that stronger bravado, but they're still worried about other people, worried about other things. So they're finally going to put that mirror back on themselves and go, what would I want if I was looking? If I was that girl looking, or what would I want? And then they're going to go, oh yeah, and that's where the inventiveness is going to come in, because they're going to create it themselves. That is something they would want, and they're going to find good results. Because I'm seeing women going like, what? Like being flattered but not knowing how to say or what to say, and that inventiveness. So it's going to be unique. It's going to be something that they haven't heard before, and that power and the effectiveness of that, of just throwing someone into oblivion where they just don't know what to do, could just spark a breakdown of that wall where he actually makes an accomplishment there. He gets her number, or or she says, I'll talk to you again, or just sparks something. So I'm seeing that these Pisces are really, they're deciding that, yeah, I gotta make a change, especially if I want to attract love, and that's really what my goal is anyway. They're realizing, kind of maybe going through the motions and not figuring it out so much, and they're going, yeah, I'm going to do this because, eventually I'm going to be dead. And then what? I had no love. I had a job and money, but I had no love. So what is that? That's not good. So these guys are coming across a point here where they can pause, and they're coming from a good area of love and wisdom. And they're going to come about it in a creative way that it's really, you're gonna get good results, smiles and giggles and laughs, and the willingness for him to laugh at himself while he's doing it and go, yeah, but you heard that one before, Yeah, it's going to gain him brownie points in that way and get him what he wants, So a lot of breaking down barriers, but he's all within the flow. So again, it's effortless. So that's, these men are actually coming from an inner sense of compassion that may be more developed than the females. We may be having a sense of compassion here, and though it is harder to see outside of yourself in a masculine sense, it's harder to see because you expect the toughness and the barriers, but it's there. It's undercover, but it's there. And then the feminines, expecting to have, and then not quite implementing it, not quite getting it, getting it going. So, very good reading. Very interesting. Comical, little comic relief here with the Pisces males. They're just fluffing themselves up to get a partner to go out there, so they're knowing what they need to do. That they've just neglected themselves to the point, so they're going to do that. They're going to put that time in, and they're going to get results for it, through the spring. And then the summer, hopefully, get a good connection for the summer and make some good memories. Now, the females, very much on the interior as well, dealing with a lot of issues. A lot of issues going to be coming up, these Pisces, for the spring. And within that, they just need to back up a bit, keep peace in mind. So don't let people bring you off into chaos, rama you right up to the point where you're mad. Don't let that happen. That's a pitfall, but I don't see that overly. I think you guys are on top of it enough to know when you're being baited, and so we just step back a little more, a little quicker, a little faster, and we're learning that, I think. So when we do that, and then also keeping the Tao in mind, the flow of the, what the men have got just ingrained in them. The women have to work a little bit at it to not put so much effort. You really, it's a hard thing. It's a dichotomy here, because you're really trying to solve these issues and get at these things, but in that trying so hard, you are actually blocking yourself. So, you know, on a deeper spiritual realm, you just have to kind of relax and let the flow happen. Let those outside sources come in instead of trying to control and knock them off yourself. Let the universe tell you what flow you need to do and when and why. And let them do it, and then you will make more progress than if you're going, okay, step 1, okay, and step 2, you know, and I can't do nothing until I finish step 1. There's a reason that you get diverted. There's a reason that you get carried away, or, you know, taken away from these energies. It's not to frustrate you, and that's what you feel, and that block, you know, it's to get, you know, we can deal with that later. We'll deal with this now, because this needs to be dealt with now, and that's really the acceptance that these women are a little bit of control freaks. Pisces, so I don't like that word, but they're control freaking their way through the process of inner evolvement, and they need to just let that not be the case. They need to just, you know, just let it happen and deal with them as they come at you naturally. Don't say, okay, today I'm dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and nothing getting in my way. Yeah, the universe is going to come in because you may have to deal with 5 before 1, and if you do that, then 3, 4, and the rest are going to fall into place better. But you don't know that because there's no foresight. That's what's going on with it. And the Teo is just to keep that, you know, that harp in mind. The harder you try to actually play a tune, the worse it could sound. It could sound completely off. But the more you just let go and you just let your spirit guide you, that's really what they want you to get in the flow. That's the feminines. They want you to get in that flow. Their flow. Not what you think you should flow because of what you studied and what you think. Because I feel like that's where the Pisces are at. They're like, I'm doing work and I'm accomplishing, check, check, check. But that flow may not be the right process to knock things off and just surrender to somebody else's opinion, the universal opinion, and they will not steer you wrong, period. There's a good flow from each sign to the next, so I'm very appreciative of that. It's very organized, more organized than I could be in my mind, so I'm very thankful that this is in such a way. And not only that, it shows a very deep-centered energy for all of these signs as they come through here. I just wanted to tame it down and go inside a little more before we start dealing with the physical side of things. I think if we deal with the spiritual side first, you know, maybe next year we'll get into the sexual, you know, really the physical side of things. I do want to get in there, but I feel like this is more appropriate. We need to get underneath the issues first, and then we can come on top with the sex, and that would make more sense to me. So hopefully you enjoy these readings. I'm really having a good time doing them. So the energies, hopefully, they're going to translate well. For the Pisces, masculine, feminine, this has been the reading. I appreciate all of the comments, good energy that comes at me. I won't be doing readings for a while for the public internet. I'm from Canada, Saskatchewan, Canada, so in that area I will be opening up here in the spring, summer, hopefully, to you know, open up some people in that way. And if that comes at me, then so be it. I will deal with that, and if not, I will keep everybody abreast of things on that Facebook page. Infinity Readings and Reviews I will have there. I'll announce where and when and if I decide to go through the internet somehow and start doing readings. So I will let people know there. So if you are wanting to know about that, that is the place to do it. So in the meantime, Pisces, take care, have fun, and be